Welcome, everybody. Thank you for listening. Welcome to another episode of The Real Men of Real Estate. I am your host, Thomas F. Chappell Jr. This is my first show, and I appreciate you listening in. And I just want to give you all the content to help you follow your dreams is going to be the topic of the day. And just to give you a tidbit of who I am an investor. I buy properties to resell, to wholesale, as well as to keep as rental properties. I am also an investor that invests into different properties and what have you. And have a real estate investment club. My club is called Black Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. It's every third Wednesday of the month. Right now we're on Zoom. We used to be live because of everything that's going on in the world. I feel it's a little bit more safe just to do the Zoom thing until everybody feels more comfortable. They want to come out and be live again. So I just thank you for listening in, hoping that you continue to be a listener of every month. Hope I bring good content to you and great guests. So without further ado, I would love to introduce my man, my mentor, the guy who kind of helped groom me to in this business, Mr. Todd Bear of BPH, which is Back Porch Homes. He is the co-founder, him and his other partner, Stephen McKee. Todd Bear, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Hey, thanks, Thomas. Happy New Year to you, too.
So how's everything been going so far?
Everything's been going crazy. You know, when we started the company, we got into the business to sell tiny homes, and what ended up happening was the world told us, we don't want tiny homes. We want manufactured homes. And so we're getting into manufactured homes now. So it's actually getting very interesting.
Wow, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Now, the last time we've been here, and I'm going to tell you like this, it's kind of serendipity because, you know, now the student becomes the teacher. You had a radio show on this network some years ago, and I have been a guest on that 8 times. So how does it feel to come back and now you're the guest?
Well, first of all, putting the shirt on for the Flip Flop Investor Show, it was a little tight. You know, I gained that COVID 50. Was it 50 or 15? I can't remember, but maybe the folks out there could call in and let us know whether it was the 50 or 15. But yeah, so the shirt, it fits, you know, but I'm keeping it in. But yeah, I mean, being back here at KCAA, it's, you know, yeah, it's definitely a little nostalgic coming back here because, you know, I was with them back before they even moved to the new location here. This is no longer the new location. This has just been the location for a while. We were at the Carousel Mall in San Bernardino for a little while. That place was a nightmare. So, you know, very cool to be here. So thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. Like I said, I could not have this show without bringing in my mentor, and it's kind of like surreal because when we first met, I didn't know anything about real estate. I had no money. I had no concept. And the biggest thing is that I was afraid because I'm dyslexic. I had child support issues, and I'm like, who is going to want to invest into me? And when I moved, I started off doing this in Vegas. I went to Fortune Builders. And at that time, they wanted $25,000 to join their back systems and all that. And I had it, but mama didn't raise no fool. So I'm like, I'm not going to give them $25K for me to work for them.
Yeah.
So then as I went through the system, I went through their 3-day. And then as I got ready to leave Las Vegas, I ran into a gentleman that was going to take me up on his wing. But I left Las Vegas and moved here to Riverside. So when I came to Riverside, I Googled investors, and 2 names came up. One, I don't remember who he was. I guess I never was supposed to. But the Norris Group, didn't know who the Norris Group was, didn't know who Aaron Norris was. But when I talked to receptionist, I said, hey, I'd like to speak to someone regarding investment. She gave me Aaron. The true story is I talked to him for 45 minutes. And for those who don't know me, I love the sound of my own voice. So he listened to me talk, and he didn't say not anything. And then once I got to a point where I got finished, he says, well, I don't have a mentorship, but I know a guy that I can turn you on to, which is Mick Manfredi. And I started going to his club, and he was charging me $100, and I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I couldn't do it anymore. So before I left, a couple of members was like, well, why don't you go to Meetup? And that's how I end up finding you guys. And then when I started coming to you guys' club, I pretty much act like the club was mine.
Yep.
I started coming the unofficial ambassador to your club. I introduced myself to everybody. I told everybody you're going to remember me. And I started bringing people to you. And you guys took notice on that. And then bingo, bango, boom, here we are.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Nick Manfredi because we used to go to his club out in Corona.
Right.
And that was really the only investment or real estate investment club in the Inland Empire at that time. So we were going out to that club, and we saw you. We met you actually the first time. I don't know if you remembered or not, but we met you at the last club meeting he had where he had Bruce Norris.
Right, I do remember that, but I didn't know who you guys were.
Yeah, we'd been in the real estate world for a little while at that point anyway, but and we were already going to other investment clubs in Orange County, LA County, San Diego. You know, we were going all over the place because there was nothing here. So then Nick says he's going to fold up shop after doing the club there for 9 years or so. And we're like, well, where are we going to go now? You know, like we don't want to have to keep driving to LA, Pasadena, Orange County, San Diego. It's, you know, it's a bit of a drive. So Stephen and I decided we're just going to start our own club here in the Inland Empire. And because we're lazy, our office was right next to the Mission Inn. So we just figured it would be easier to carry equipment across the street than, you know, load it up in a van or something. So yeah, started the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club back in 2014. And yeah, I think you came to about like the third or fourth meeting we had.
Yep.
Yeah. That was. I mean, that's a walk down memory lane right there. But yeah, it's been a rewarding experience for sure.
It has. I mean, people that really don't understand that they can do this business, or for people who feel, oh, I don't have the right criteria, or I don't have any money. It's not about that. A lot of people say, oh, it's about mindset. Well, yeah, mindset's a big part of it, but the question you have to ask yourself is this something that you really want to do? Are you looking just to make money? Because I remember when I met Bruce, and Bruce said, don't worry about money. Money's the easiest thing to find. You just got to find the right deal. You got to understand how to structure and break down a deal to make it a deal. And I didn't understand that. So when I started bringing you guys stuff, because I told you, I said, can't get anything in my name because I got child support issues. So it was like, well, just find us a deal. And I'm like throwing you guys all this stuff. And you was like, no, this ain't it. This is not it. And I'm like, well, what's going on? They sabotage. They don't want to do it. What? Until you guys sat down and told me, it's like, look, stop sending us junk. This is how we buy. This is what we look for. You bring us stuff that we're looking for, we'll buy it. Mm-hmm. You know, and then I understood that concept, and then we just went off to the races from there.
Yeah.
You know, and then finally you guys came to me and said, hey, we want to start this club, but we feel funny two white guys starting an all-black club, so why don't you run it? And I was thinking, I don't want to do that. Say, who's going to want to come listen to me? But before I can say no, yes came out. And the next thing you know, I'm on almost 4 years in this club.
Yeah.
And I'm having fun with it. So I want to thank you guys for pushing me without realizing that I didn't know I could do this.
You know, I mean, you just got to get out of your comfort zone sometimes. You know, everybody started at the beginning at some point. You know, we weren't always real estate experts, you know. It took us a little while to get to that point. And I still don't feel like I'm a real estate pro. I still look at people like Bill Tan, Bruce Norris. I still look at these people, and these guys are experts. I'm just some, dumb kid out here, pretending to know what I'm talking about, I guess. I don't know. But he's, those are the real pros to me. But a lot of people ended up looking up to me and Stephen because – maybe we were just the loudest voices or something. I don't know. But it's not, I'm not going to discount us. Obviously, we do know some things, but we're not pros. We've made tons of mistakes, in this industry. And that's that just goes with the territory, I guess. But maybe that's how you learn. I don't know.
Exactly. So here's the thing I want to say, since we are talking about following your dreams. If you had an opportunity right now to go back to that young Todd, what would you tell Todd?
Oh, man. Focus more on what you really wanted to do, which was, become a comedy movie writer. That's what I wanted to do. If I would have followed my dreams, that's what I'd be doing right now.
Really?
But I don't really want to do that in reality, But yeah, that's actually what I set out to do. When I was really young, my dad worked in an office, and I thought that was cool. I want to work in an office, but I have no idea what that was, Like, what do you do in an office all day, And not until I went to like a bring your kid to work day with my dad like years ago. I mean, back when I was 9 years old or something, I realized working in an office is kind of boring, actually. I don't think I actually want to do that, But I jumped around a lot from being, wanting to be an astronaut to an airline pilot to a dentist to a doctor to a psychologist, to all kinds of things. And, ultimately, I just kind of fell into. I've always been an entrepreneur, which is weird because I sold candy out of my backpack in elementary school, and when I was 13, I started a computer business where I built computers and serviced them, and actually did that till I was about 25, which overlapped my real estate career. I started real estate when I was 22, so it's kind of it's been a different thing. I guess when you talk about following your dreams, dreams change.
Yes,
so,
they do. Yes, they do.
I met somebody just Wednesday night at the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. They had their first meeting back at the Mission Inn.
Yes.
And I met somebody there. She's in her 50s, and it's now time. She wants to now pursue a new dream, which is to become a real estate rental, owner, essentially. She wants to own property. And it's not too late to start a new dream, and I've seen many people that have come to the club 50, 60 years old, and they're just starting out. And for me, I'm like, it takes a little while. It's not, it's not an overnight thing. And you just have to keep working at it, make it your job, essentially. It's a 9 to 5, and treat it like that.
So is there any time that you ever felt like you wanted to give up, things wasn't working correctly?
I never felt like I wanted to give up, but definitely things weren't working, for the first, well, actually for me, it was literally 6 months. My first real estate deal, I bought a house on the public, auction they did out at the courthouse of Riverside at that time. I bought a foreclosure, bought a second deed of trust, and, but I'd been going to the auction every day for 6 months and was not able to get a house. I was not able to buy anything because all the people that were there are seasoned pros, and they're buying everything, and they can bid more than I can, and I wasn't willing to take the same risk as them because I didn't have the same experience level. So, it was definitely a rocky start. It took a little while, and once I got that one deal, I had to learn how to do construction, which I didn't know anything about. So, there's definitely no magic formula that I was able to follow. I did pay for one of those seminars, where you go and they try to sell you on the platinum program, right, and the inner circle, and all this other stuff they try to sell you. And, I bought into one, but it was only $300, so it wasn't that much money that I had invested.
Well, how long ago was that?
That would have been 2005.
2005. Wow. Because look at it now. You go to Fortune Builders at $75,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And, I've heard a lot of people that have gone to those programs, and, it's a lot of money. It really is. And can you learn it for free? You can. Can you find a mentor of your own? Absolutely. But, those programs do give you all the information that you would learn in real estate college. But, in my experience, it's a good jumping off point, but it's not going to get you super far into real estate. Not right away, anyway. It's going to take some time. It's the same amount of time that it would have taken you just to learn it from scratch. So some people find value in those programs. I don't, but that's just because I've seen a lot of people that have paid for those programs and still struggle to find deals because they don't just show up. It takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of willpower and just constant work, to get that kind of stuff going.
Okay. So did you have any mentors in the beginning?
Yeah, well, of course. My mom was a real estate appraiser. She'd been an appraiser for like 30 years at that point, so she knew valuation. She taught me all that stuff, just sort of, through osmosis, I guess. But, learning from people like Bill Tan, from Bruce Norris, from different mentors, people that have been around the business, people that we've never heard of, the actual investors that are out there doing stuff that never had a real estate radio show, or, for people that were never speakers at any of these investment clubs. They're just out there every day doing it. I learned from those types of people from really just observation and occasionally calling them up and asking questions.
That's good. That's good. I mean, a lot of people are afraid to actually just reach out to someone, and they thinking that they have to pay in order for them to feel like they got some kind of value out of it. So, I mean, just like with you guys, I did the same thing, and I just felt like, me just sticking up under you guys because I felt like you guys had that chemistry, and we also we thrived together. That it just made it easy for me to want to do it that way. So that's why I appreciate it, and that you guys didn't give me the option to give up.
Yeah.
That was the one thing.
Yeah.
You guys pushed and pushed and pushed to where I said, you know what, either I'm going to do it and I'm not.